I'm not German.
And I'm not a Mexican potato. Yum, yum, rum.
I will not touch spit.
Oh, you like my spit.
Oh, that's gross.
Listen, man, I'm not your friend. Don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep.
Wow, you're looking very exotic.
You need to look harder.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, what happened?
He tripped over a wicker basket and fell apart.
Wicker.
Uh-huh.
A wicker basket?
Yes.
I think I'll just move my hand around.
Ghostface.
Knock, knock. Y'all want to come pet the horses? Oh, yeah. I'm starving. Another wicker incident?
Don't look. I'll probably cry. Yeah. Yes, yo. Yeah. Yeah, keep going. Nobody come in here. Oh.
Nuh-uh.
Shabbity diggity diggity. I could fart on you.
If you did, it'd mess up stuff. Vader's after my pelican.
Vader wants this horse, Donnie.
No, he's after the pelican. Oh, dang, I left the pelican outside.
Oh, seriously?
Well, it's gotta be gone by now.
I wanted the pelican.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't?
Oh, son of a... Here we go.
Oh, wait, that hurt.
Dude, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You know what it is? My depth perception is off because I need new glasses, but they don't fit over the helmet, so I'm just like, whoa, what are you doing? No, careful. Can you come back over here?
No.
No, don't turn around.
I got it.
That's
I got
even.
it. It's
Oh,
fine.
buddy, listen.
You're bad at stuff.
Dude, that's hurtful. That's what the kids used to say when I was little.
Yeah, I bet you're kidding me.
I wish I was. One time in summer camp, the kids tied me up to a goat, and they put us both in a hole.
Goat?
Yeah.
In a hole?
Oh, yeah.
Kids are cruel.
I know. Tell me about it, right?
They were mean to you.
Oh, you don't even know. In junior high, my nickname was Flower.
Flower! No!
inside you, brighter than the skies. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to yet another episode of Rogan Radio live from the friendly confines of Studio A here on the luxurious campus of Casa de Rogan, Lumberport, West by God, Virginia. Good evening. Hello.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I thought you were going to sing "Welcome Back, Cotter" for a second. I was getting kind of worried.
Well, I was going to say everybody's back in the house, but not everybody's back in the house.
Well, D-Mac, once again, see, last time we were here, was it last time?
Yeah, last time we were here, he didn't know that we were
when.
having a show because we were on that every other week schedule.
Yeah.
And he thought it was an off week, and we forgot to let him know it wasn't.
Right. Actually, he was out looking for Jimmy.
Yeah.
He was out looking for Jimmy.
Todd Beck's
Todd
not
just
here.
forgot about the show.
No.
Well, now here's the problem.
Todd
No, what did you hear?
I heard he had to poop.
Well, he wrote on his Facebook. If you go to Todd Beck's Facebook page, you'll see where he says,
he had to poop.
I had to poop. I'll be back in a minute.
Yep.
Now, I'm not necessarily sure I believe that or not. Somebody could have
believe
been.
it.
But here's the crazy
I
thing.
believe it.
We talk a lot of conspiracies on this show. And one thing that I have noticed lately is when Todd here, Jimmy is not. When Jimmy's here, Todd is not. I think one of those two. I'm not sure which one. If you've ever,
Kind of like Clark Kent, you know what I'm saying?
if you've ever seen there's an episode of Star Trek, the original television show, when there's like two Kirks or something like that.
Yeah.
There's like a mean Kirk and a good Kirk, and you don't know which one's the real Kirk, except Spock kind of does it. I think one of these two somehow killed the other one, so they can't be in the same place at the same time. So I'm not sure if Todd's dead or Jimmy's dead. Not really sure.
That's a good thing.
But you probably took a skin off one of them, like took the skin off the other one, and it dresses up. Like that could be Todd, or last week it could have been
So
Jimmy.
I think that
Or-
Jimmy.
I don't know.
I think it's Todd that's missing because Jimmy is shorter than Todd.
Yeah, but if I was Jimmy with Todd's skin, I'd have a lot of loose skin. Just
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
too.
but you know what? You guys taste in a joke. It's pretty similar too, though. That's the thing. You know what I mean?
I think Jimmy
Well,
posted
Chuck's
on
the one that would know the
Todd's-
taste difference.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Wow.
That's kind of sick. The one thing I want to know right now
Yeah.
before we get this show even started, I want to know who's on here with us. We really appreciate you guys watching every single week when we're on. Actually, during summertime hours, it's going to be every other week, weeks, days, months, years.
I think we're every other week now.
Decades.
For the rest of the summer.
We're pretty much there.
Yeah.
I saw Pam on there. Hello, Pam Kirby.
Tim Sutherland's on here.
Oh,
Hello,
I
Tim.
gotta look,
Saw
I gotta
Mary
look.
on there.
Christopher Griffith.
I wonder if Mary had a little lamb. And I wonder if that
Fleece
lamb's...
was white as snow.
Yeah, I just kind of
I
wonder.
wonder
that.
if everywhere that Mary went,
Jimmy
That
was
lamb
sworn to
was-
follow. Oh, that's not how it goes.
that's not how you're making stuff up.
Hello, Judy. That's all, Judy. What's up, Jude Day? Oh, Tim Southern said he's a
Josh
top fan
Jenkins.
of Facebook, of our Facebook page now.
Dr. Hall's in the house.
Very good. Congratulations, Tim. We'd love to have you on here.
Bucky Nicholson's on here.
What's up, Chris? I saw
Christopher
Chris on
Griffin.
there.
Josh Jenkins.
Yeah, Josh Jenkins.
Larry Terry. Hi,
Larry Terry. Hey,
Larry
Larry Terry. Love that
Off
dude.
the flooding lake right now.
Yeah, speaking of that, let me tell you what happened today. Well, we'll start with last night. Last night we went to a Black Bears game up in Morgantown. All right. Have you been to a Black Bears game yet in Morgantown? It's a minor league team.
No,
They're
I drove
No,
by
I
the
heard it's
stadium,
fun.
but that's
Listen,
about it.
Fun.
fantastic. It's very affordable. Hell, you go up there for like $8 or $10 to get in there.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's easy.
Nice.
Last night was Star Wars night. So Darth Vader was there, Chewbacca was there, Han Solo was there. They had a lot of Imperial stuff there. It was real cool. Real cool. But so we're leaving. The game's over and all this junk, but we see this monster thunderstorm coming. We can see the lightning. So we're like, well, it was supposed to rain yesterday anyhow. Anyway, we go drop Jack off over at Cheat Lake. That's Michelle's
You
brother.
dropped what?
Jack off. What's wrong with dropping Jack off, Jimmy?
See,
that one.
I told you.
just
Todd
didn't hear
does the
the
same
end.
thing.
See?
Yeah.
I
Todd does
think
the
you're
same
I
thing.
think you're trying to be funny there.
Todd's pooping.
Yeah, Todd's poop.
Anyway, after we get done dropping Jack off, then we're driving home, and all of a sudden, literally, it starts pouring the rain down. I mean, monster monsoon rain.
Like,
And
yeah.
And so they keep this, the weather service keeps going on, which brings me to another point, is that, with all the technology these days, they send high definition pictures from Mars, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But anytime the National Weather Service interrupts a broadcast, it sounds like it's on like a 45 that somebody has an AM radio recording to send it through a walkie-talkie, and then that goes to a styrofoam cup with strings. I'm like, how does it sound so bad? Why does it sound so bad?
And when they do,
This is the weather service from Charleston, West Virginia. Tonight, the calories will be Preston, Kingman, Garrett.
You know, and I'm thinking, I can't even understand a word you're saying. You could have just told us we were about ready to die.
and even the font they use is like
Yeah.
back in, what is it, old 32-bit?
The only thing that's missing is the guy saying,
Take care, have a nice day.
and he goes, and it goes back to the whole thing, and then you go back to listen to whatever you were listening to. But we were listening to that last night. Well, it was pouring the rain down something awful in Mon County. Wake up this morning, Wayne Worth's already in Harmon over there because they just got blasted with all this rainwater. And you can imagine they got 2 inches of rain and what, like
7
inches in the
7
2
inches
hours.
in 2 hours, yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then, you know, that's a lot of rain coming off the hill at any one time.
Oh,
Well, now I feel lucky that Cindy and I, when we went out on the ride yesterday, we rode from here to Parkersburg and back. Didn't hit a raindrop of rain at all.
Really?
Not one drop. Yep.
Well, it's
So
good because right now, if you were riding, raindrops would keep falling on your head because you don't have a hat on.
I know, and nobody's going to see
Listen,
it
you know
either.
what?
Listen, speaking of hats, how cool is that hat he's got on?
Let me see that thing. You know, introduce yourself, brother. Let everybody know who you are real quick.
Bryce Weaver. I'm actually Derek's firstborn son. So
How about that?
Firstborn, he said.
You know, firstborn's
Meaning
always.
he's saying, I'm the best.
Well,
I'm the best.
not very many people get this joke, but my parents will. So we don't talk about Jimmy. He was the firstborn.
We don't talk about Jimmy. We know either.
Must
he
be
was
in the
taken
name.
out. This actually isn't my hat. I stole my dad's hat.
Oh,
Father's Day gift.
no kidding. That is
It's got
great.
Star Wars all around
I
it.
didn't even notice.
All in the
Awesome,
back,
Bryce.
all the
I like that.
Like all the years.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
that is actually with all the movies
Yeah.
in different years. Hey, that's pretty slick.
That's pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
$5. You know what? We'll give you another hat on your way home. You just want to. So anyway, we see this stuff today with all of this flood action happening. We hear all about this devastation that happened overnight and all this junk. And so we're up at Cheat today, and Cheat's kind of muddy. You know, it's kind of nasty. But Jack called because Jack was off work today. He calls down to Michelle and said, "Listen, get off the lake." And at about this time, they opened the dam up, but there was supposed to be like a 3,000 or 5,000 gallon gas container or something floating down the
It was
river.
going to be coming
So
down
what
the
you're
river
saying, Jack
toward
was
the
off
lake.
today?
Yes.
Yeah, there was like he said there was a 5,000 gallon drum of gasoline or something that had gotten loose in the river.
5,000 gallon drum. A 55 gallon drum.
I don't know.
It was because Dawson called. I can't say too much about that.
No.
Yeah. So it's pretty industrial.
anyway.
Industrial. Let's put it that way.
Oh, really?
Oh no, because you should have seen the stuff coming.
55 gallon.
No, you should have seen the stuff coming down the river. When they opened it up, it came to where it was kind of steady. You know, there's
Yeah.
always some sort of a current to where it was white water rafting again. It was like, you can imagine
Trees.
when you're draining a pool. Take a side off the pool and how much that water will flow out, how fast. Well, the lake does the same daggone thing.
What would happen to all
Turn
these
Cheat
people
Lake
if
into a river.
They didn't get warnings. The other people that didn't get a warning like you guys.
I don't know. See, that's what we said
didn't-
today.
nobody got a warning,
Nobody
but-
did.
That's what I mean.
And then it was like, what I think they should do if they're going to do this stuff. Now, granted, they give you a warning that it's recreational anyway, but you have guys out there on their jet
It's in your
skis and boats,
contract.
and it's just like the
Yeah.
next thing you know, there's like a whirlpool action happening where the thing's sinking. They should have like air horns to let you know, like three beeps, and then some guy in the loudspeaker gets on there and says,
This is the National Weather Service. We give you 3 minutes before we drain the pool.
just something like that to let you know it, right? But they don't
Pretty
do
loud.
that.
That's a long one there.
Yeah. So we
That's
don't know
what we
exactly.
need, though.
We don't know exactly about what the deal with but there's a lot of debris. We're going to
Yeah,
say
you
it
would
that
think
way
there would be some kind of warning sound when they go to open the floodgates.
because
like
it's
that.
dangerous.
Yeah,
Because
well,
listen,
yeah, 'cause you
if
get
you're
trees and everything
listen, if
coming
you're
down
out there with one of these
Trees.
dipshits on one of these kayaks or one of these surfboards, like there were a couple people out there today with their dogs. They were paddling around.
Paddle boats.
Listen,
Paddleboards.
paddleboards. Listen,
So-
that would be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, because
Did
you
you-
said you was doing all you could to keep
Yeah, I was
up
gonna
in
say,
your
Yeah.
boat
did you?
in
My-
the
my
current.
boat-
Did you get off before it came rushing?
Because the current was opposite of the. Did I miss something?
Listen, Michelle got off before it started rushing, and Jack's off. Big deal, Jimmy. What's the deal?
Hey, all I know is I was going against the current, and it was,
She's going to get the current.
I was going against the current
before it came rushing on.
before it came rushing, and it was all I could do to keep up with it. It was all I could do.
Listen, when Jimmy starts, you can tell Jimmy hasn't been here for a while. And there's a lot of innuendo, Bryce. So you just have to ignore that stuff, just like everybody in the
what you
audience.
talking about? I was
It's
just
just
wondering if you
pure,
were
simple
struggling.
fun. We know exactly what you're talking about. You're worried about Michelle's safety on the water. Now, if you read something into that, that's not our fault.
You'd see the look on Michelle's face. It's like
Yeah, but anyway, we're going to have. Hopefully, we can at some point. I was trying to get Wayne's very busy because he's up there helping out today. Wayne, he's fantastic, dude. We'll get Wayne in here in the next week or two or whatever to see.
Hopefully, if he has a chance to breathe. I mean, I don't know how that man goes.
That pitcher's a lot of road
How he finds the hours in a day to do the stuff that he does.
Right.
Schniz it.
So and I know there's going to be a lot of, so be looking for. We'll try to pass anything on around here also. Volunteering stuff. There's going to be a lot, just like what happened last time.
Yeah.
You know, people, especially water. And if you can donate any water, now I don't know where you can do that too. I'm sure the fire department's going to do that.
I'm sure
it's still in the early stages.
If you watch Wayneworth's page,
Yeah, Wayneworth, DTVBOY. Oh, it's
they got hit that bad.
Oh, listen.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a couple different stories also where people that had camps up through all the way through Audrey and all that,
and all that stuff.
That a lot of them got cut off because you can't get out. They don't know what's going on because the water rushed or washed the roads
if you
out.
think it's
so
not
a lot
like,
of those isolated camps.
That's
back
crazy
there.
because that's up around Arden and all that, right?
I can't see. I don't know. I don't know Randolph County and all
Well,
that.
they said
I don't know.
They said
that part of the
33,
world.
not too far east of Elkins.
Maryland.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
up there.
okay,
Like,
okay.
I think that's toward Revels.
That's down.
Campground
That's
and
where
all
I
that.
was yesterday.
Revels, yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm not very familiar
That's
with
where I
that.
was
is-
yesterday. I actually left before the storm came. When we come out of them
Tony
caves,
Everett.
Yeah.
we left it because we saw the storm coming. We were like,
The thing is, it's prime time camping time, so you know that
Yeah.
The place
there's
was
a
full up
lot
there.
of campers there.
there was a
Yeah.
ton of people when
That's
we went
scary.
yesterday. There was a ton of people.
So
up
it might turn out to be a pretty bad story in the end, actually. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it, keep abreast of the situation.
Oh, that's better.
Uh,
I couldn't see anybody.
Christopher
I see you.
Griffith said that Mannington Volunteer Fire Department took a load. He thinks today.
Oh, very good. So they're already starting in. So be looking for your
good.
local fire departments and things. They were really good last time. I know D-Mac. He might not be here because of that right now. We don't know.
That's true.
Because he's always on the scene.
I wasn't able to get a hold of him. I tried texting him earlier. Just no response. That means he's busy.
Yeah, normally. Now this is something crazy too. It's what, Alexa? Oh, I don't have the thing on.
Yeah.
Turn.
Well, she's on.
Yeah. What's the temperature outside? Do you think it's hot? Mid
80s.
Mid 80s. And the humidity's what?
pretty high.
4,000.
Listen to this. Brucey when Brucey first got here this evening. You want to talk to Bryce? I don't know if you've ever been to Japan or not. And a lot of the big things around here, we complain about humidity more than anything.
It's 83.
83. Do you have a humidity reading by chance?
Yep.
I actually just got back from a third world country in Honduras on a
45%.
missions trip, and it was 90% humidity down
Well,
there the
that's
whole week, 110. So
strange you say that because it's 45% humidity now, and it
Yeah.
seems like you're suffocating, right?
Yeah.
Brucey shows me one from yesterday. Was it yesterday or this morning at 8 o'clock?
It was this over there. It will be morning, next morning.
8 a.m.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow morning was about 74-degree humidity is 94%.
You believe that? And then you can imagine, like, Honduras, is that where you said?
yeah, I was in Honduras.
110 and 90%. How does somebody deal with that?
You sweat a lot.
See,
I
that's
guarantee
exactly
it.
the opposite of the Middle East, man, because it was like 125 degrees, but it's dry.
Yeah,
It's like
Arizona,
10%.
Arizona summer.
10%.
I guess
you
couldn't
feel like
imagine 110 degrees and 90% humidity.
That'd be a nice weight loss plan,
Yeah,
actually.
you sweat just by standing.
Absolutely.
Oh, no doubt.
Absolutely. Well, that is crazy. We'll have to hear more about that here after a bit. That's going to be pretty interesting. Once again, Todd's out tonight. How did Hogs for Dogs go? That was 2 weekends ago.
Oh, let me tell you something. They had a heck of a turnout. It was a really nice ride. and
Congratulations to
everything.
Tracy and Chuck and everybody. Did well for the Humane Society there of Harrison County.
Yes, they did. I'm not exactly sure on all the final numbers and stuff like that, but judging by the turnout. let me
Was
tell
the
you
weather
something.
good?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Good.
Beautiful
Good.
day.
Awesome.
We also want to remind you coming up, Chrissy and Clinton will be in here in the next coming weeks. We're going to be talking about the Ride for Life, which
Ride
is
for Life.
Oh man, that's a good one too.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
good one
yeah.
too.
I'm one of the bigger advocates out of this shop here for that ride itself.
Right.
You know what? I am going to make an announcement.
Okay.
Actually, one of our listeners is on, Billy Joe Claypool.
Okay. What's up, Billy Joe?
And she's one of the planners, organizers for the Honor Flight.
Honor Flight, yeah.
It's called the Huntington Honor Flight, Clarksburg Flight, which we're coming in the future. And we may be able to get it this year. If not, we'll definitely do it next year.
Right.
It's going to be the Huntington Honor Flight, Clarksburg Flight, Dice Run.
Nice.
Sponsored by the American Legion Riders of Post 31 in Shinston. So be looking for that. We don't know exactly what's going on. We're still in the very, very, very beginning planning stages, but we're looking at either late September, early October this year if we can get it pulled off in time.
Mm-hmm.
If not, it'll definitely be next
Well, I'm
year.
sure you can talk to Tracy and Chuck or Clint and Chrissy.
Yep.
They'd help give you some pointers on that also. But that's pretty awesome. An ice run that with the honor flight. If you remember right, that's where they take. All it starts with the oldest, right? Like World War II still now, and then they go down.
Well, now they're
done with
in
World War II.
Vietnam.
They're in the Vietnam now.
Vietnam heavy, Korean, Vietnam.
People in last year about that.
Yeah.
So actually, if you guys remember, right, last year they were short of donations,
Right.
and we ended up raising like $5,000.
Yeah, Brent Harris really pulled in towards the end.
We had a contest with Derek while we were on the show.
Yep.
He would match up to $1,000 if we could get that $1,000 by the end of the show.
Yeah.
And it went just a little above $1,000 that was donated.
That's
so he
just
matched
during the show. So
that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And what that does is they fly out of Benedum, and then they take the veterans over to D.C., and then they can go through all the memorials and things like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might not be able to have that opportunity to see them.
And just some specifics, real quick. It costs $85,000 to put a flight on. The veterans to sponsor a veteran is $300. Okay, the guardians pay their own way unless they're a veteran. That's what it was last year, unless they changed it. Because I was a guardian last year. I pay. My wife paid, but I didn't have to because I was a veteran. But that $300 that was for me come out of that $85,000. So so it's still so it's $300 per veteran. That is given by donations. That's including the $85,000. So, if you want to donate any money at all to that, there's a Facebook page, Huntington Honor Flight. Make sure it says /Clarksburg Flight, because if not, then your money will be going to the Huntington one. So this is all local. I mean, it's all the same thing. Huntington has a flight, Clarksburg has a flight, but Clarksburg is what we're the local. So.
Yeah. Each one, I'm sure they have their own, local / whatever the town name is and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
Tim Southern just sent me a video. You can see it up there on the screen now. I don't know if I can actually. I don't know if I should do that. Anyway, Shinston is getting a new police officer, and you're looking at him.
Or not?
And you're looking at him right there. I don't know if you can.
Is that?
I don't want to take too much time on this. It's a dog. It's canine.
Oh, yay!
So Tim's going to be bringing a new pooch. Yeah.
Yay!
To Shinson here pretty soon. He's going to be a new officer, and we're going to have a chance to talk with Tim and John Harbert down there, which will be fantastic. That's your first look. No more. That's your tease.
That is awesome.
Very nice. Anyway, have you guys ever been on a cruise by chance? Ever been on a cruise?
No.
We came off of a cruise.
I have not yet.
This was my first one also. We went over to Grand Turk and Half Moon Cay, and then went over to Freeport in the Bahamas. And it was fantastic. I mean, it was kind of neat to see how it all, you can confine all these people to this one particular ship, and it's actually a pretty good time. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Say that term again. You confine people.
You can find. You do confine them
because you're at sea in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, I don't do boats, and I can't do confinement. So.
Oh, Chad Puccio, you're missing out.
Was yours pretty big though that you could?
It was huge.
That you could get lost on there. And,
It was. We never did see it all.
Well, I mean, it was to the point to where I never could get acclimated with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get around basically the second floor. We had the aquarium lounge we always went to. We loved that place.
It's actually called the atrium, but my dad called it the aquarium.
So we just kept going on with the aquarium.
Yeah.
So we've just made up names because you know how bad. But anyway, it was actually a good time. We left out of Baltimore, and it was fun. But I compare it to Mexico. And so I'm like, I'm going between an adult resort because, we were going to go to the Dominican Republic, and we decided not to do that since everybody's dying. Did you see, by chance, did you see what they're blaming, the Hard Rock Cafe, where a lot of these things are happening over in the Dominican with the, have you heard about this, Bryce, the people that are dying?
People dying.
Okay.
We were just talking about this, actually.
Did you hear what the head of Hard Rock Cafe came out and blamed for the reason these people are dying? I just read this story today. The water. He said, no shit. He said because people from different cultures come in here, they're not used to the same water, so they drink the water.
Oh, they are so full of it.
That's what
They're
hey,
so
listen,
full of
I
it.
got Montezuma's revenge when we went down to Mexico. And listen, it hit me for about 3 or 4 weeks, and it don't go away overnight. Listen, no Pepto-Bismol, no nothing will help that.
Parasites are horrific, aren't they?
Listen, I lost 15 pounds. It was wonderful. Then I gained it right back, But then I ate the tapeworm again, and it was okay. I thought it was a tequila worm. Anyhow, so, I was comparing it back and forth. And I'm like, what do I want to do the next time? The cruise is great. Great time with the family. Awesome. Do we do the next trip that we want to take? Do we want to go back on a cruise? Or do we want to go, like, say, to another, like an all-inclusive resort, which is absolutely marvelous in its own right?
Hawaii.
You have Hawaii. But I came up with something. I came up with something that has changed my mind for everything. This particular thing, it only lasted for 4 days. And it's sold out in 2 minutes. Each night it costs you $169, and it's out in Palm Beach, actually. It's a pop-up Taco Bell hotel. No joke. They had this for 4 days, and it sold out in 2 minutes. Now, can you
Still
believe
won't
that?
Get rid of the Montezuma's Revenge.
No, that's what I was saying. I didn't realize that people love Taco Bell so much that they would actually go and sell out a hotel resort. Now, granted, they're using another hotel and everything. They had 70 rooms in this thing. Everything is decorated in Taco Bell stuff. If you go out to the pool and you get on a raft, it's kind of slick because you get one of those little sauce packs. That's what the raft looks like. It's a taco, like a taco sauce pack. It's pretty slick, the entire thing. But I didn't even hear about it. Next thing I know, it's sold out.
Jeez.
Can you believe that? But in
so you went out of Baltimore,
right?
So you spent a lot of time on the boat. Do you like that, or would you recommend flying out of, say, Clarksburg down to Orlando and taking one of those boats out so you have more time?
Well, this is the thing.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great point.
Well, this is the thing.
I'll give Michelle can go first.
It's not actually that you have more time. It's just that you can go further.
Okay.
So, like, we went from Baltimore, and it took us, we were on there 7 days. It took us 7 days to get to Turks and Caicos and back to Baltimore. Where if you go out of Florida, you can go more southern Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll take you 7 days. You could go clear to, if you go out of Miami, you can go clear to Aruba and back in 7 days. Whereas there's no way you're doing that from Baltimore in 7 days.
The bad thing about Baltimore, there's good things about Baltimore. I
loved it.
The best thing about Baltimore, it's like 3.5 hours away, so you don't have to buy plane tickets. You know what I mean?
And
You're
some
in and
people
you're
could
out.
care less where they stop. They just like to be on the ship.
Be on the ship.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
There's something always going on.
Did it ever get bored on the boat?
No.
Never. I had no problem staying on that boat because they have shows. There's always something going on, so it was never a problem staying on the boat.
24/7.
And this is all inclusive.
Right.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy your drink
all the
package
food
and stuff
you can
like that. This
eat,
is
all the drink. Yeah.
yeah.
I heard the food's amazing too.
It's good. Yeah, it really is, and they have all these different things. But anyhow, like say, if you just sail out of Baltimore for us, it's a 3.5 hour ride over to the shipyard, get on the boat, but it takes you 2 days to get down to say Miami.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now that sounds like a long time, and it is, but it's not that bad. We had it was crystal. It was just the smoothest sailing trip you could ever make.
We didn't run into any storms. We ran into one storm one day, and the captain
You could see it coming. He just
steered around it,
just-
and you could literally see the storm passing right by us.
It was neat. It was really cool.
It was the neatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, being on the water is awesome.
It was.
Now I will
neat.
say this too, though, to answer your question, Jimmy. If the bad thing about sailing out of Baltimore, if you don't do it in say June, July, or August, it's going to be cold at night. If you get into May or you get in October at night, so then you have 2 days. I would imagine Todd would be, if he was here, he'd be a better one to ask.
Yeah.
Your first 2 days, you're sailing from Maryland. It's going to get cold at night.
It takes you 2 days to get past Florida?
Yeah, so it's going to be very cold at night. So you're going to be inside that entire time. See, in the daytime, we were out there sunbathing, and they had bearded belly contests and stuff, all kinds of crazy junk going on. No, I didn't.
Hey, he entered. Well, he actually didn't enter. My brother entered him in the Michael Jackson contest.
Her brother did not enter me anyway, Michelle.
Yes, he did.
He did not enter me.
Sure, he did.
I also saw the little video
Chuck
clip.
came in second place.
And then he got the hula hoop championship.
Oh, he was in the hula hoop championship. He got chosen on stage
What
for that.
was the hula hoop thing going on?
It was just a contest going on. They have all kinds of different stuff all the time.
They picked him. It's like there's something always going on. And there's 2,600 passengers on that ship. It's the smallest ship they have actually.
Yeah.
2,600 passengers.
But it was a blast. As far as the family atmosphere, it was awesome because we could go and eat. Then, we could go down with
They had a
Dr.
team.
Hall and St. Jude, and we could sit in the atrium or the aquarium, and we could indulge there or go to the piano bar. Perhaps the girls can go do their thing. And it's just, it's not like anything's going to happen. They have this little app that you can text back and forth. It was
they had
really
a teen
fun.
club.
It was really fun.
Yeah, so the girls hung in the teen club, and they
So
made their own friends.
So the next time, though, I think what I'm going to do is be looking for this Taco Bell thing. That's what this entire story was about, the Taco Bell restaurant / pop drive, right? $169 a night, because I think it would be cool. I want a Long John Silver's one, too. I think it would be kind of neat to have a pirate boat. But in the guise of how we do things, the guys, there's 5 guys, I guess, we have tonight, in honor of Taco Bell and their pop-up resort, a Bell, I think it's called The Bell, a taco resort. We have some burrito jokes, actually, in honor of this. Well, I was going to look for some diarrhea digestive jokes, but I didn't think that was classy.
No. Hey, but where are the best burritos served?
Best burritos served? I have no idea.
In the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, in the Gulp of Mexico. Hey, what do penguins like to eat? Burritos.
These sound like 5-year-old jokes.
Why did the man climb on the roof of Chipotle?
Why did the man climb onto the roof of Chipotle? I have no idea.
Because the manager said the burrito is on the house.
Ah, why can't you trust a burrito? Well, because they tend to spill the beans.
Why is your mom like a burrito?
Hey, don't be talking about my mom.
Because she's full of fat and only worth $1.
Oh, dang gum.
What do you call a cat in a blanket?
Cat in a blanket? I have no idea.
A burrito.
Oh, nice.
Hey, what boy band did a commercial for Taco Bell?
Boy band? I have no idea.
One Direction.
One Direction. 2 burritos are in a microwave, and one says, "Wow, it's hot in here," and the other one said, "Oh my gosh, a talking burrito."
Well, that's a really
Really?
long one.
Really?
Boing.
Really?
Where's the sound effects on that, Jimmy?
Boink.
Anybody else? Once again, we're celebrating the fact that Taco Bell actually came up with a hotel for $169 a night. You could stay there. The entire thing's decked out in everything Taco Bell, including the rats in the pool that look like the sauce packets in the tacos.
I'm not
Ole.
Sounded like you said rats
The
in the
rats
pool.
in the pool.
The rats in the pool.
Talking about
And the cats in
Taco
the
Bell.
moon.
I'm no big fan of a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
But back in the days, I did like a Taco Bell dog, the Chihuahua.
Oh,
Then
I forgot about him.
She comes up and says, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Get it? It was a chihuahua.
Chihuahua. How many Mexicans does it take to eat the world's largest burrito?
How many?
Just one. But I'll tell you what, I forgot about it. Spuds McKenzie or the Chihuahua. What's the name of the Chihuahua dog?
The Chihuahua
From
dog.
Taco Bell. It's got to have a name. Pedro? Would it be Pedro?
I don't know.
That's so racist.
Yeah, the dog was a girl, but they just acted as a boy, actually.
Was it a
Yeah,
girl dog?
that passed away, though. The
Did
dog
it?
yeah,
So
dog
did
did
Spuds
pass away.
McKenzie. See, they have some really cool dogs in commercials.
Gidget.
Oh, yeah.
It was Gidget.
Gidget was the name of the dog in the Taco Bell
Really? I
stuff?
never knew that.
Yeah, it was
At
funny,
least-
though, in the video.
At least 2 dogs were used as models in the commercials.
No
the original
kidding.
dog cast from the lead role was named Dinky, but was replaced at
I feel like
the
I'm listening to
last
Snow
minute-
White or something.
I know,
Yeah, right.
But was replaced at the last minute by the director with the Chihuahua that was originally cast as a girlfriend named Gidget.
Oh, I like to
Think
Gidget.
of all
by
the
way.
dogs that they've used throughout time. It's like
No animals
Spuds
were harmed
McKenzie.
during
You
the
know what I mean?
commercial
Like
making.
Spot. You know.
Yeah. That's what I was
Alex from Stroh's.
Alex, yeah. That's
Holy
all kinds of
cow,
cool
man.
stuff. You know, I'm sorry.
What's the dog? Bush's Baked Beans dog.
Oh.
died.
Yeah, I saw where he
yeah.
died too. The golden retriever died. Yeah, yeah. The talking
What was,
golden
it, what was
retriever.
his name?
What was it? It was something like.
We're not doing too well at this game.
No, because we went to the. What is the
we're
name?
not
It was like
thinking.
Butch or some kind of manly name, wasn't it? Wasn't it some kind of manly name like Wayne or something like that? Some kind of cool
Duke.
cowboy. Duke.
Duke.
Was it
Duke.
Duke?
Yeah,
Is that
it
it?
was Duke.
You know this 4th of July, which is going to happen on Thursday.
Oh
you
my
know,
God, I cannot believe it's the
this
4th of
summer's
July
flying by.
already.
It's
It's
flying
crazy.
by. It's
How can
absolutely
that
flying
be?
by.
Yeah, I'm really kind of disappointed for this 4th of July.
Why is
I
that?
have to be honest. Last year, the past couple years, see, I was never raised to get into doing the fireworks and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years ago, Carol got me introduced to going out and setting off fireworks. Well, I got a little too into it last year.
Uh-oh.
And let me tell you something. We
Damage.
put on a hell of a show.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you blew your ding dong off or something.
yeah.
I was like, wow, what were you
I thought
sticking
you
that
were
bu-
missing a finger.
You had a good time with it, though?
High four, Chad.
You know,
But the bad part about it is, she's not wanting to do it this year
what?
at all. We have not even went to a stand to look.
Hold on for a minute. You're
I
telling me.
actually
Wait,
have this
Chad
platform
has a sad
built.
story. He needs some music. Just hold up.
Amen, Brian Boyles.
Get Chad some sad
I don't
music.
even know sad music, but I do have this platform that
It's a
Carol and I
sad
built last
story.
year to be able to hold the mortar tubes and stuff like that. Not even going to get to use it.
Poor Chad.
Oh, man.
What's the reason? You don't know the
Man.
reason?
She just
Not in the mood.
doesn't have
She
the
just-
feels for blowing shit up this year, I guess.
Blow shit up.
I mean, I don't know how somebody couldn't be in the mood to not blow shit up.
Either.
Are you guys having trouble, Chad?
No.
Did
That's
you
the
build
funny
that?
part
You
about it.
built a platform just
Yeah,
for
it's just a-
fireworks,
It's just a piece of wood with some other little attachments on it.
and you
Just
don't
so he
get to
can
use
set
it.
off his mortars.
You slide the mortar tubes in,
Slide them in,
Slide
you
it
load
right
them
in.
up,
load them up.
and you light that fuse.
How can
Light
she
the
do
fuse.
this? You went out of your way, not even liking fireworks. That'd be like me getting on the boat, not even liking boats.
Don't get it
And
twisted.
Michelle
I
saying,
didn't
"I don't
go out
even
of my
wanna
way.
go."
It's one of them things that, it was just something I
Yeah.
never got into. But
Sheer disappointment.
I got drug
To be
into
built
it. and
up like that and just have it taken.
Just,
away.
just pull the rug.
Yeah, maybe
what?
you just
I'm-
get
I'm
to some
just-
sparklers.
Unfreaking real.
Shame. Shame, Carol.
you know,
This, you might want to be thinking, you might want to double think this relationship, Chad.
you went there, not me.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. That was just a joke because Carol whipped my ass if I ever said
Chad
that
just
for
lost
real.
his platform.
That's too funny.
Sorry,
All right,
Chad.
I'm shutting up from here on out. Anything else I say can get me in trouble.
Hey, speaking of fireworks, you know what? There's tents about everywhere. There's, I mean, on every
Yeah,
street
there's
corner,
tents
there's a
everywhere.
tent. You know what?
Now that the good stuff's legal.
Well, that's and it doesn't seem. Now, here's the thing that always has drove me crazy though about fireworks is I hear them like 3 weeks before it's even the 4th of July. You know, I hear them 3 weeks after the 4th of July,
But
right?
you got to remember though, when we were kids, man, I don't care. It hit the 1st of May and people were putting off fireworks.
That's what I'm saying. But
we
you know,
were shooting them at each other and everything.
But-
Oh yeah,
but I
I
don't-
remember putting bottle rockets in pipes like rocket launchers.
you ever seen the guys on the videos where they stick like a bottle rocket or a Roman candle straight up their ass and they'll shoot them things in the sky? You ever seen them guys do that?
Oh, yeah. I've
I
seen
really
that.
don't search.
Did
for
you?
that,
Hey,
but-
what about that one guy here a couple years ago that had a bandolier of firecrackers?
Oh, the
Oh,
big fat
yeah.
dude, and then
Yeah,
he let
big
that thing
fat
up,
dude let
and
that
listen,
off
it lit him up.
Burnt him.
Oh, it
up.
burned
Listen.
him back. This is also the same dumb son of a bitch that took two. He takes two tasers and puts
tell
them
us
to
how
his
you really
cheeks.
feel.
I mean, he takes two tasers and puts them to his cheeks and lights them up. What the hell do you think's going?
The
He gave
same
himself
guy-
a concussion.
The same guy would shot himself in the face with a paintball gun.
Right.
yeah, like it's like Stevie O or something. Let's see. Let me see. Keep talking. But you know,
The
I
one
don't-
thing I did find out, though, for some reason, Nutter Fort said that civilians are not allowed to shoot off fireworks that are aerial fireworks.
Well, Cheat Lake
Where
is
was this at?
Cheat Lake.
Nutter Fort.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, is that just a
I'd
city
buy a
ordinance? Or?
5,000
Yeah, it's,
count.
the city said no.
You know what? I'd buy a 5,000 count Saturn missiles and take it down there
I
in
know,
old
right?
RG Honda's
And just leave.
parking lot and let them all off.
Okay, you know what? This isn't going to be the smart. This is only like 20-some seconds. Let's watch this guy. He really rapped. This isn't the guy that I saw. He's
Oh,
not.
hang on. Let me get.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
he-
this is a different.
This is a different dude,
Yeah,
but
this
here's
is
a
a
different
different
dude.
dude.
There was another guy who really laced
Okay,
himself
go.
up with firecrackers and
That's
wrapped them all
ridiculous.
around. But let's see what happens to this particular specimen of. Here he goes.
What a goofball.
Why?
Why would you do that? Look at him.
I want to see the aftermath.
He's got these firecrackers all over his chest. It looks like his ears hurt more than his chest. Oh my goodness! Look at his chest.
black.
Why?
Oh.
Look at the blisters.
And he wears
man.
white pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a Japanese comedian's doing it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Good
He was speaking
heavens.
Japanese.
But do you know, I don't seem to hear him as much as I do, that I used to anyway. And is it because they're more mainstream? It's not like they're like a big secret anymore.
Type in firecracker bandolier.
Maybe.
It'll bring that guy up.
Okay. Keep talking though. We don't want to have any
But
dead
yeah,
air.
yeah. Well, I tell you, one of the
Dead
things
air.
that from back in the childhood was I lived up on Tank Hill right there behind the
Oh,
old
God.
7-Eleven,
Listen.
And me and Mike Butcher, we would shoot at each other from like Saturn missiles, ball rockets, shoot M80s out of slingshots at each other.
Okay. Now, I did not find the one. This is the same guy. And you have to apologize. But you need to watch. Same guy that we're talking about to put the firecrackers all over him. This is one I have not seen. Basically, what he has done is got 2 toilet bowl plungers and super glued them to his nipples.
Are you serious? You got to turn your light off for this so it don't reflect.
No, you're going to have to ignore the cussing if there's any cussing. Then there's going to be, it sounds like.
Right here, we have 2 plungers connected to this
This
car.
dude ain't right.
Megan's going to super glue them to my moves. We're going to wait for it to dry, and she's going to drive away.
She's going to drive
and
away.
hopefully not take me with her. Okay?
What's going on here?
Suction it on. So, you know what I mean? Like,
There we go. They're getting the super glue now. Oh, man, they stuck it to his chest. Now they're going to wait. Now, here's the kicker. What's going to happen is they're going to tie it to the car, and they're going to fly off the car to see if they can. Oh, this is stupid. It's going to rip his skin off, isn't it? I mean, or it's
All
going to
I'm
rip.
saying is I'm hoping for this guy. It pulls the wood out of the plastic.
Look, it's not coming. He's trying to pull it out now. It's not going to come. And he's what? Let's see here. Let's see. Let's go a little bit faster. Here we go. We're going to go. A little, they got the car going. Here we go. Listen for the cussing. Oh,
are you serious right
now? Oh, man. Look at. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, look at the skin.
What is wrong with you?
Lord have mercy.
So that's what I watch on YouTube most of the time. Yeah.
I thought I would talk about the same guy. It's the same guy who went with Jackass during the time.
Yeah.
And what the guy did like a skateboard into a pile of cactuses.
It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same guy who did that. He was picking cactuses out of his butt for a month and posted on Twitter.
That's funny. Hey, yeah, by the way, Bice, you're in here. You're going to start. You're talking about starting up, but you're like old-time radio show that your dad sort of got you into, first of all, right?
Yeah, I started off with long road trips. I was a swimmer. I'm actually wearing my Fairmont State swimmer
Hey, listen,
shirt.
by the way, how'd you like that transition? That was professional, going from watching the guy get his nipples ripped off from super glued plungers to talking about old-time radio with Bice. Okay, go ahead, Bice.
I guess the old times don't die, do they?
That's right. Yeah, go ahead.
But it was during road trips going over to like different states and with our different conferences that we had to go to, and just to kill the time, usually it was just me and my dad because he was an official. He just turned the old time radio on, and then one of them that just stuck to me was whenever I heard a phone ring and it just went Johnny Dollar, and I stuck to Johnny Dollar the whole time. And my dad gave me a proposition and says, "You do voiceovers and you do acting and whatnot. Why not redo the Johnny Dollars, modernize it, and put it on YouTube or Facebook or something?"
Sure.
And then he told me about you, and I'm sitting in a chair right now.
Things happen quick around here.
Yeah, they do.
Hey,
But
there's a comment from AJ Morgan real quick.
okay.
He said there was one dude with an electric wheelchair that wasn't able to get away fast enough. He said, "You two back up Terry. What you doing, Terry?"
Nice.
But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, continue, Bice.
And so one day, him and I just looked up a script and started messing around with it. And he's just like, "You know what?" He's like, "I need to get a hold of Rogan because I got an idea that if we get all of him and his guys, that we can get it off the ground." So I'm possibly looking forward to having you guys help me out with that.
Because the script, the scripts themselves, the actual stories. I mean, that's what they can't be. Because what years are those? Do you have any idea when they came out?
A lot of them came back out during the old time radios for 19. Oh, try not to make up the time. It was like 1938 for one of them and 1942 for another.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be about the time
What
span.
is it, Johnny Dollar?
Yeah, Johnny Dollar. There's different ones because it went on for roughly 5 to 10 years, and there's 100 scripts out there, and they all came in different parts. There were some specials for 30 minutes, and then others in 4 or 5 15-minute parts.
Yeah. It was a radio drama that aired on CBS Radio.
We'll give you those sample of
Yeah, because I've never heard it.
1949 to 1962.
Johnny Dollar. Jim Connors, John boy. Congratulate me. Congratulations, Tim.
But you see, it's that old style,
Yeah.
and they have that old, and they have all the sound effects that they add in and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Well, come on down and pick one up. Oh, baby, you better pack a suitcase, too. I got one for you out in Culver, Montana.
Where's that?
I just told
But you can see that is kind of
I
cool
would
stuff.
so be into playing characters on
Yeah,
this.
it'd be pretty
That
awesome.
would be awesome.
It'd be kind of neat. It'd be kind of neat to reenact them.
It's really cool because the guy that calls in, he's the same person who always calls in for most parts. Like 60% of the time you listen to these radio shows, they call in, and this guy's the one who's just like, hey, got another one, and he's the insurance fraud investigator.
Mm-hmm.
And more times than not, he either bites off more than he can chew, or he just happens to be like, one instance, he went on a cruise vacation, and one of his old friends bumped into him and says, I have a problem, and I'm going to need your help with this. He's like, I'm on vacation. He's like, going to have to put that on hold. And so it turned into like it was a $2 million life insurance for this lady's husband. And lo and behold, find out later that she and this other dude wanted to get, hooked up and killed her husband just to get the money.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Whew.
Maybe that's why I keep going on these trips with Michelle. She just hasn't got lucky yet. But that's pretty good because, what's really interesting about listening to old-time radios, they didn't have the tricks of CGI and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
They had to use the sound. They had to make sound effects. How do you make thunder? I mean, you can make the sound, but you had that guy that could get like a piece of aluminum foil or whatever it might have been. It sounds
Sheet metal, I think.
It sounds just like thunder or walking on wood. And, the guy had, he had 50 different sound effects on this, on this table that he could just go back and it's
The
neat.
one thing that I thought was funny, do you know how they made the sound of bones breaking on the radio?
Couldn't tell you.
Celery.
No, tearing apart lettuce.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tearing apart crispy lettuce actually sounded like a bone breaking.
Oh. Wow.
There's for the rain they did old bamboo rods, and they had rice in it with the different layers from the bamboo. They could just turn it with the rice hitting it. It just like it chimed like a metal teal roof.
That is
without
neat,
taking
isn't it?
the microphone outside.
That is nuts how they can come up with stuff like that. But that's awesome.
That'd be something to YouTube.
Yeah.
How they did old sound effects.
Right. How are there any? I mean, is that your predominant one, or you just like anything vintage like that, like the old
It's
style?
just a lot of that stuff I enjoyed. My dad and I grew up watching A Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Going into watching any of them, like off of the Hallmark shows. Watched any of them.
I think it's funny. He says he grew up watching Murder, She Wrote, but you know damn well right the age that he is.
Yeah, it was.
He grew up watching the reruns.
That's great.
Yeah, I was like,
hey, but it'd be the same thing as like reading the Hardy Boys. I mean, I read the Hardy Boys, but it was already long gone. I mean, as far as who wrote those anyway? What's her name? Agatha Christie? That wasn't her, was it?
Stand by.
No, I forget who.
I can't remember who wrote the Hardy Boys.
Agatha Christie, wasn't she more?
That was Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah,
type stuff.
Yeah, see, that's good too. I like the murder mystery kind of things. Those are legit because it makes you think the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you add the radio drama aspect, and there's a bunch of podcasts. One being
Actually, the Hardy Boys were created by American writer Edward.
Why am I thinking it was
Stratemeyer?
Why am I thinking it was a woman that wrote that?
Maybe you're thinking.
Maybe I'm
Nancy
thinking
Drew.
Nancy Drew.
Maybe I'm thinking what did she write?
Give me a second.
But there was a thing called the Leviathan Chronicles, and it is as far as a radio drama goes, it's in that 30s and 40s style, and because they have all the sound effects, but they did it's a modern sort of thing, and it's
Carolyn Keene.
Huh?
Carolyn Keene wrote.
Carolyn.
Nancy Drew.
Yeah,
Nancy Drew. Okay.
Yeah, it was Nancy Drew Mysteries.
Well, that might be.
You know the bad part about it is we're talking early '80s, right?
Probably.
When the books were out.
Well, see, I'm thinking I read them in the early, but hell, I thought they were out way before that.
Well, they may have been out before then, but I'm talking from my.
Oh, okay,
from when I first got exposed to them.
Okay.
And I had, they were like 30, 40 books or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a bunch of them. I even had some Nancy Drew. I mean, they were good stories.
Oh, no, most certainly. They were very good, very captivating. And I'm not a big reader. I don't like to read. Bryce, you like to read?
I have a disability with reading.
Yeah, I do too.
I can't read. I love books, but I just can't understand.
I'll listen to a book, but I don't have the patience to read one because after about 5 minutes, then I start losing my mind and I start going back and reading the same sentence 3 or 4 times, and then I'm like,
I take after my mom with that. I read.
You like to actually read?
My imagination goes crazy.
I just can't. It just bores me. And if I go then all of a sudden it's like how many. This is horrible about me. I'll start reading a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you the last book I read. It was probably second grade something. So, and then I look and I say, okay, I have 4 pages left to get to the end of the chapter. So I start flipping through those just to get through those 4 pages. Couldn't tell you anything on them, but I had to read them.
Yeah.
But I had to go through them as fast as I could. Like, shoo, I'm finally
here's
done.
something as
Cliff
far
notes.
as for all you
Exactly.
readers out there.
At least they make those.
Because there's different styles of readers.
Yeah.
You know, some people are skimmers and they actually get the whole thing. You know, some people just read dialogue. I am the type that I have to read. I have to read every single word in the book.
Oh my goodness.
Every single word. I got to read it because I tried to read the dialogue stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just read the dialogue, but then I miss all the ambiance stuff.
The
you know what I'm
detail.
saying? So me, all the details. So me, I'm one of them ones that I have to.
Somebody
read
asked
every
if you were actually in here or if it's just they didn't see your face.
Too bad.
Listen, he shaved his billy
He didn't
goat
wanna
off.
show his face.
But you know, so he shaved his little goatee. You notice that Darren, Jimmy, you haven't seen him for about 6 weeks. You notice how he's got a little bit less of a goat now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It got stuck in a farm tractor. It was a horrible accident.
Yeah, got stuck in the post hole driller.
No, but see now, Darren has the patience to read. I do not.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't either.
The only book I read probably in the last 20 years was probably The Shack.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I didn't even read that when I waited
that
for
was a
the
good
movie.
movie. Yeah. And that movie was awesome, by the way. Remember we watched that? The
Yeah,
Shack.
I've bought lots of books because I think I'm going to read them.
Just never
and then
have.
they're just sitting there.
Yeah.
Never read them.
See, I just don't have. To me, it's listen. People love, and I'm not blasting on anybody. Everybody's got their own deals. But to sit on the beach and read a book is not my idea of fun.
Yeah, some people love it. But
Yeah,
I
some
don't.
people dig that stuff.
You're one of them
That's
guys
not
that
my
sit on the
style.
beach and sleep.
If I get a book and I read, if I'm reading a book, I feel like I'm wasting time. I'm like, man, why am I doing this?
No, I can watch the movie in an hour and a half.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm not a book guy. I'm not a reader. You know?
Well, see, like last weekend when we got done with that Hogs for Dogs ride and everything, Carol and I we're back at her place and everything. We got us a couple drinks, went out on the back
Be
porch.
careful.
And then the fireworks happened.
We got a couple drinks, went out on the back porch. She could sit there and read a book. I can sit there and just watch the traffic. It was just calm and peaceful. Nobody texted. Nobody called. Nobody was, we didn't have anything we had to do. But she enjoys the reading aspect. Me, I can look out into space and not think about anything, and it's relaxing.
Right.
If people read to relax, so be it. Me,
Yeah, everybody has their own thing.
I read half a page of a book, and I'm asleep. I'm waking up the next morning. Yeah, ain't no lie.
But that's the cool thing about the old radio dramas when you actually told stories. By the way, just got a picture from D-Mac. He's up at Cedar Point. Just
Which
arrived.
makes perfect sense of why we passed the camper. I didn't know this was their week they were going.
yeah,
Remember? We
yeah.
passed the camper.
The cool thing about it when you listen to a radio drama, though, your imagination, not only are you hearing things, and it's kind of setting the scene, but your imagination, it's setting the scene up for you to see, even though you're not seeing it.
Right.
You're seeing the detective in the big detective suit or the PI suit,
That's
those
your
old tan
imagination
kind,
working.
and the old hats and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
The old Dick Tracy kind of jazz, which is slick. You don't want to see that in real life. I don't want to see somebody else's interpretation. I want to make my own interpretation because if I hear something, I guarantee you, if we sat here and listened to something, each one of us is going to have something unique.
Right.
If we watch something, then nobody has anything unique because we're watching what somebody else in their mind. They're kind of influenced what we're saying with all of that.
See, that's what I have a big issue with. Like I'm a fan. I love fantasy. Like your Dragonlance.
Oh, I love fantasy too, boy. I dress
Yeah,
up
but
all
not
the time.
porn fantasy.
Okay, you lost Chuck right there.
Yeah, but we're talking like the Dragonlance novels, the Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And when you're reading this stuff, and then see, like I read all of Tolkien's books. Okay, I love J.R.R. Tolkien and The Hobbit and all that. So when I read those, I already had images of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And when they casted the movies, some of them were just clear off
From what your
I thought.
imagination, from what
And one of the major gripes I have to this day about the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit is they took out one of my favorite characters. They never even mentioned him. Was Tom Bombadil the Giant? That's one of the biggest issues I have with that whole series of the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm not that familiar.
I don't know The Giant because I never read the book. So I'm okay with the movies.
If you notice, there's a lot of people that will refuse to watch the movie until they read the books.
Yeah.
Me, I'm wondering, okay, if you're that interested in it, why do that to yourself? Because when you read the books, you get a mental image in your head.
Yeah,
And you get
you know
an
it's gonna be different.
expectation.
Yeah.
And when you get to the movie, you're always disappointed.
Every time.
Quit doing the shit that's going to
Or you
just
could
piss
be-
you off in the end.
Watch the movie first and
Or
then
not
read
even-
the
or
book. That
maybe-
way you kind of have some of it
Or maybe
already
not.
in your head.
You know, if you watch the movie, then read a book. You're better off than reading the book and then watching the movie.
Yeah, I
agree.
Yeah.
So
I
if
agree.
you're a book reader, why even watch the movie? Because you have the movie
You
in your
already
head,
have
and
it,
it's 10 times better than what anybody can put in an hour
You
and
already
a half.
have it visualized. To me, it doesn't make it. I don't care. If I watch a movie, I still have. Okay, here's a good example. But it wasn't a book. It was 2 movies. True Grit, when they remade True Grit.
Right.
You had the John Wayne True Grit, and then you had the new one with. Anyway, but anyway.
Yeah, but anyway.
When you Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
When you get into that movie, you cannot go in expecting it to be the John Wayne True Grit. You can't do that. So, and that's for me. I'm okay. I can do stuff like that. I can get into the storyline without having to rely on or get away from thinking about the old.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I can compare the two. But that's just
Now,
me.
see,
So
what's
I know
hard for
there's
me
people-
is you can't take a classic Western and modernize it.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, let's take RoboCop for an instance. You can take that one, the remake of RoboCop, freaking love it.
Oh yeah, I like that much better than the
Absolutely love
original.
it.
I'll
But
tell you
it's
something else
the
that would be-
technical aspect, the technology aspect. It brought it more to life to today's standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you're talking about an old Western. You can't remake an old Western nowadays that's
Yeah.
already had
Unless
an
it's an original, like
established.
Tombstone or something, you know. But then again,
I'm
that's how
surprised
old
no
that
one's
is.
tried to make it a spaghetti western remake yet.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
you think you. I think.
Yeah.
I think it would be crap.
Oh, you can't. Do
I
The
can't
old spaghetti
imagine.
Western, I think they'd be crap.
I can't imagine somebody even trying to take on a Clint Eastwood role.
No.
How could anybody else be the man with their name? You can't.
No, you can't.
It would just be
I
a
don't
waste of
see it
time.
happening. And I don't think there's any actors out there today that are that caliber.
What would you say when it comes to the books to movies thing? I know Twilight was big. There's going to be 3. There's 3 franchises I think right off the top of my head that
Hunger
were.
Games was a
Yeah.
big one.
Oh, well, there's 4 now. The Gray books, whatever those, the Faces
Oh,
50
yeah,
Shades
yeah,
of Grey.
yeah,
Okay,
50
everybody
Shades.
talked
Shades of
about the
Grey.
books. Everybody
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about the books. Then it was Harry Potter. Everybody read
Yep.
them books long before the movies came out or whatever. Ooh, my. And then we had what was the like I said, the Twilight, the Harry Potter thing.
Divergent.
See, I didn't
Yeah.
hear
That's-
anybody read about
yeah, the
that.
Divergent, yep.
The series, there's what, 3, 4 of them?
Well, the
Yeah,
problem
3
is
of
with that though is that the Harry Potter. I read the Harry Potter and the Hunger Games one. I actually wasn't allowed to watch the Hunger Games until I read them. I was homeschooled during that part, and honestly, those movies were just as good in the book as they were. You can't put everything in a book into
Right.
a movie. I mean, we saw what Endgame. Not going to go far into that, but 3-hour long almost movie, and everyone still loved it and hated it. And now they're releasing it again with some more fillers.
I heard that they were going to actually re-release that movie
the
and add
Hunger
like
Games? Or-
no,
the Endgame.
Oh.
The latest. What is
why
that?
they
I got
really
excited
release
for a
it? Just to
second.
make
Because
more money.
they're just adding another 15 minutes or something. What end credits or
Yeah,
something
end
like
credits.
that.
It was already 3 hours.
There was really no end credit movie.
Yeah.
You know how that while the credits
Yeah.
going on, there was none. There was just the sound of a hammer on an anvil.
Yeah.
That was it. Now they're going to go ahead and re-release it with an end credit movie.
It's just a way to just make more money.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Percy, did you read a lot of books growing up? Were you a book reader or what?
Well, the funny thing is, when I was growing up, I kind of disliked reading the book. But since I learned a different language, I read more book written in English than written in Japanese.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you find like the flow of an English writer different than a Japanese writer? Or is it different?
I don't know
writing
what
style?
it is, but the one I kind of have not by the self-absorbed or anything, but just I'm just surprised at how much I came along just to actually read some foreign language, but I can still understand the reading, the content of it. So I get joy of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do you ever get to the point of when you're reading something, you're like, it's so English that you don't understand. You either don't understand the satire or the joke in it, or what they're trying to say.
I had a hard time with the slang, the jokes at the
I was
beginning.
gonna ask you
Yeah,
if it was
that was
the
the hardest
slang.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, because the bad thing about English, you could have 5 different words that mean the same thing.
Yeah, it's
You know
true.
what I mean?
True.
There was a thing down over in Baltimore, which is pretty cool. It's almost like a sundial looking thing, but they pair up words. They pair up words, same word by sound, but different words by meaning and spelling. And it was neat. It was like, I can't even think of one now.
It was all over the sunglasses, like pair and pair.
Yeah, stuff like that. Anything that would double
P-A-I-R,
words.
P-E-A-R.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
And they were made
So
into
that would
little
be
bricks.
sense.
Yeah, sense and
Sense with an S or
Yes,
sense with
yeah.
a C.
Yeah.
Yep.
They often do that with a tongue
because
twister.
there's 2 different types. There's S-I-N-C-E, S-E-N-S-E, and C-E-N-T-S.
Listen, CTS, PTSD. I don't know what we're. CIS. I mean, what is that? What is that? Crime? Is that what you guys watch?
CSI.
CSI. See, I even have dyslexia.
See, I watch NCIS.
Yeah, there we go.
Jeez, that's a
I
lot
don't
of
watch any of them.
acronyms going
I'm
on here.
SOL.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that.
I was going to ask you a question.
Well, I don't
but
watch any of that crap now. I cut my cable.
Yeah, Chad's on the. He is going. I haven't had cable for
long time.
Long time.
You're almost in double digits, aren't you?
Almost double digits. Yeah.
I haven't had it for a year.
I have
had
been
it
officially cut
since
the
I moved
cord
in here.
for 30 days now.
I'll tell you what, it feels good to get rid of cable. Absolutely.
I don't
does.
even have internet in the house.
Let me tell you something else that feels
You
good
don't have
too.
internet in the house?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have
the
internet
thing
in the
I
house.
have
The only
internet.
internet I have is right here on my phone.
Well, we just got caught up. We actually have a satellite internet that my wife is actually watching the show for the first time.
Wow. Well, good job,
Wow.
Cindy.
Yay, Cindy.
Bye, Frontier. We have satellite internet.
One thing, for the last, I'll tell you what, 12 or 13 years, every time I went anywhere, I had a cell phone with me. I've always had a cell phone with me. Well, this particular one, when you're out on a cruise ship, you have to buy their internet package, or it's like a nickel and dime operation, and stuff like that, you know. But, when Todd was telling me, he goes, you know what, it's worth it to get the internet package. I'm thinking to myself, no, I need I don't
need a break.
I want away from it.
Right.
And this was going to be the perfect way for me to have an excuse. It's like, I don't even want this phone on me. I'm going to put this phone in the safe, and I'm not going to use it. And that's exactly what I did for a
Neither
week.
one of us got it, and we weren't on our phones the entire week.
And it was glorious.
It was glorious.
It was absolutely nice to get
Yes.
back. And you know what? My thing has always been, what did we do when
wonderful.
we were bored before cell phones? Because now when I'm bored in a doctor's office or whatever, I would sit there and play on the phone, right? To fight my
Read
boredom.
the magazines that are there.
Fight the
that no
boredom.
one reads now.
Yeah, but you know what I found doing on the ship instead of I talk with people. Believe that? Can you believe that? I met strangers and things.
Communicate.
You start communicating because you're bored, and so you're like, "What am I going to do? I'm just going to stand here, or I can talk to this person,
that
this person." Then you
And
start
actually,
interacting.
We
That-
started meeting people closer to home.
See, that has
We're like,
never
wow.
been me. Never. I will not talk to anybody. If you talk to me, I'll have a
Yeah.
conversation. But I will not.
we met
To
all
this
kinds of
day, I
people.
won't even start up a conversation.
But if you look at somebody now, if they're in a line or something and they're bored, they don't have anything, they have their cell phone out. They have their heads down.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have your cell phone, you can still just stand there with your thumb up your ass, or you can sit there and you can talk with people.
Right.
At which point, this is what I did, and it was fan-stinking-tastic. Met a guy from England who moved to Pennsylvania, the Indian couple that got me on the cricket. By the way, I love cricket.
saw
Love
it,
cricket. Have you ever watched any cricket? Ever got into
I've
cricket?
watched it, but I'm seeing. I watched. I saw where you
Yeah,
posted it.
listen, it's baseball. It's better than baseball in a 360-degree field that's live. It's awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. You don't have like this field and all this stuff. And there's only 2 innings at that. It's pretty neat. Do they have cricket in Japan?
I'm not sure, but I've seen that on
Yeah.
TVs and
Here comes somebody.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's Christian.
get over here, boy.
He can drive now, so he thinks
Pull up a chair,
Wow.
Christian. Get over here and sit down. Get in a chair over there. Get in a
He's
chair
a
over there.
stranger.
You know what? Christian Wiz is in the house. He's a member of the team. Bryce, this is Christian. This is Jimmy's. This is my son, Jimmy. I mean,
Yeah.
my son, Jimmy's son.
his oldest.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Well,
to
our
turn.
son too, kinda.
We're gonna have to. Bryce, will you turn that? Chad, will
one?
you? It's gonna have to be plugged in. It's not even plugged in. It's not plugged into the wall. Not plugged into.
Christian.
Not plugged into the wall. Not plugged into the wall. Yeah.
Say it 4 more
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. There we go. Plug that thing in the wall. It's gonna be the very first one. You don't have to worry about that. It's already plugged in. All right, Christian, go ahead and give me something.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, it's set up already.
Now listen, what you're driving, you're out cruising, you're prowling for cats or what?
Yeah.
Graduated and everything.
What are you doing, man?
I just decided to drop by.
Well,
She wasn't
you know
doing
what?
anything.
Good job at checking out your dad.
What the hell's going on with his voice?
Let me tell you something.
I know.
God
right?
have mercy.
Now, one thing you didn't know about Christian, Bryce, is Christian is a big snake handler, like his dad. And the thing is, what I want to know is, have they called you up to Morgantown to find that big boa constrictor yet?
No, I didn't even know about it until like a week after it
Where do you
happened.
think that thing's been gone for a couple of weeks? Is it long gone?
Probably.
Do they normally just
I
like?
thought they caught that thing.
They said that one guy got
real?
arrested.
I thought they caught
They
it.
arrested the guy. They
Yeah,
actually
the
arrested
guy.
the guy.
Yeah.
No,
There was
it's still loose.
in the area about a month ago.
Less cats.
He had a lot of things. A guy, if you're not familiar with the story, he was up in Mon County. Anyway, he had this big 15-foot python that was getting a little bit. Was it a python or boa constrictor?
Python.
Python. Okay. So anyway, he was taking it to the vet or wherever to euthanize it because it was getting too big. He stops at Sheetz or someplace, gets out of the truck. Somehow it escapes. Either that or he was like, "Get out of my truck."
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
get it.
I do too.
escapes sometimes.
Yeah, it does, and it gets you in trouble every time because it got this guy arrested. But anyway, so this snake is on the loose, and I didn't realize how much territory them things can cover in a short amount of
What
time.
was it? How?
Like 22, what was it? 22 miles in a day or 2 days,
24
something like
hours
that.
or something?
It's something like that.
It's crazy.
Now listen, I understand. Okay, granted, it doesn't make what happened any less illegal. Okay, that they arrested this guy.
Yeah.
But with all the bull stuff that's going on around here, they arrest a guy for a snake getting out of his.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, look at it like this.
seriously?
You're talking about
I
a
mean-
15-foot long reptile
Yeah.
that can literally take somebody's $700 dog
Yeah.
that runs around like a little yapping piece of trash
Should have kept
and
his
kill it.
$700 dog in the house.
You know,
But you know
but
what?
you're actually giving it an opportunity to take away what somebody's paid for.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is, though, they arrested the guy, and that didn't happen yet. Now, if they arrest the guy and there was some kind of a proof to say, okay, that's your python, because all that guy has to say is like, I've never seen that python before in my life.
Right. That ain't mine.
That wasn't my dog killed that kid struggling
Mine-
around.
mine
That wasn't
did.
mine.
Mine had markings
Mine
like this.
Mine had a tattoo.
Yeah.
you know, mine had a Superman shield
So,
on it or
like,
something.
seriously, like Christian, do you know about pythons or?
Yeah, I have one.
So can they live in this environment? Mm-hmm. Like out in
they
the woods.
they can until winter.
Then what's going to happen?
They'll probably either go south or die.
Python sickles.
Might be able to get in some house.
I'm still just kind of baffled listening to Christian.
Yeah.
So will it try to find somewhere to live by winter, like
Probably.
when it gets cold?
Probably.
Oh, great.
It's just like any other
It was
snake
like
in,
it was
the area.
probably
it's gonna try to
captive bred
find it.
though, so it'll have a harder time.
What kind of environment do those things like, Christian?
Like
Pythons.
Africa.
I mean, as far as what they eat and things like that. Rabbits?
They eat like anything.
Mice?
Because I read somewhere that they really don't like water unless they get overheated, and then that's when they go to water. Is
I
that
have
right?
no clue. I know
As
that
a
they like
Google
dry
thing.
environments.
Yeah.
Which
I
means
Googled
when
that.
it gets cold,
They
it's
fare
gonna
well in
find
Florida,
its way into
so.
somebody's.
Because I was
underneath
worried
their
about the
house.
lake.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be laying out there on the lake in this big old 15
That would be an anaconda.
4-inch
Chuck refers
python
to.
like wraps around me.
Listen, Christian,
But-
this is what I want. This is what I want. I'm going to play a song, but listen, the only thing I want you to do, and do this slowly, is read your ABCs from A until Z. Okay? Would that be okay?
Sure.
We're
He's
gonna
got it.
start here with a kick.
Do it.
What, like, just start now? Like ABCs?
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
Do it with some. Do it.
G.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
There it is. There it is.
Man, Christian, where did you go? You were just a little boy last time I saw you.
Yeah, he turned into a man, Michelle. Just get your hands off of him.
You should have did the
Telling
now
you.
I know my ABC.
Hey, but anyway.
We are the great and powerful Oz.
But here's the cool thing. You have a birthday coming up this week. Tuesday?
Yeah,
Is it Tuesday?
It's July 9th, and I think it is a Tuesday.
Yeah. Is it July 9th? I thought it was
Yeah,
this week.
it's like in 2 weeks, I
You don't
think.
know your own kid's birthday?
Ah, well, you know, I tried to forget all about that. Now I want him back in my life.
Now, wait, were we at the drive-ins?
Yeah, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday.
Were we at the drive-ins like one of your birthdays, the year before last or something?
No, I don't think so.
We were at the
I
drive-ins. I
don't
can't remember.
Was that their anniversary thing? Or the 70th?
The
anniversary,
70th?
maybe?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought
That
it
would have been
was
on the weekend, though, wouldn't it?
around Christian's birthday, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to be here next week because we're doing this show every 2 weeks now. But because your birthday's on the 9th, for some reason I was thinking it was this Tuesday. Whatever. At least I tried to remember. Are you drinking a milkshake? Or is that a love
Yeah, I forgot
shake?
that this is here.
Dang. Stud. You can't spell stud
I'm
without
telling ya.
STD.
What happened to my little?
All I need is you.
What happened to my little Christian?
I know. He's not a Christian anymore, little boy.
Oh.
He's a good dude. Anyway, we're going to sing you happy birthday because we're not going to be here next week to do that to you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay? Yeah. Ready?
Ready.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christian. You big old python handler, likes to go to snakes. You're the best son like a dad could ever have. I love you forever.
You're growing up too fast.
Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And girl.
Yeah. He's hopping right along through life. What grade are you going to be in this year? Are you a freshman? Not a
I'm
freshman.
out. I'm out.
Wait a minute. Now you graduated high school?
Yeah.
Thanks. We had this discussion.
Man, I thought you and my dad were friends.
No, well, I mean.
Listen, whenever I look in the mirror, I hate myself sometimes. That's why we don't talk. No. How did I? You know what? Yeah. No, because I saw the pictures now that I say that. And I said, "Oh, you were a freshman." I meant college. Have you thought have any plans with college yet or your afterlife? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
I'm going to Pierpont.
Are you?
Yeah.
Very good. Do you have anything you want to take up yet as far as your studies?
Not really. Just like something with computers, preferably.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, he's going to try and get his first 2 years out of the way because they got that college thing. You go to the local college thing now.
Right.
You can get paid for it, and then
I
he'll
got
probably
a
transfer
grant
to
for free.
WVU
Oh,
or
nice.
Fairmont or something.
Right.
Nice.
He wants to stay in the area. So.
Nice.
Yeah,
Man,
for college at least. After college, I'm getting out of here.
Bye. Yeah, do it.
Hey, that's what
Do
my
it.
daughter's doing.
Listen, you should have got
Moving to
out of here. As
Florida.
soon as your balls dropped, you should have got out of here, man.
Hey, you know what? I did that when I get out of high school.
Yeah, Brucey came over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Brucey
got
got
his
out of high
degree.
school. Next thing you know, he leaves Japan and he's in the United
came over
States.
here.
Maybe you can go somewhere like Japan.
Yeah. Do it. Get somewhere cool that we can come visit.
You better watch it because you gotta. Hey, Christian, is there any way I can come over? I would really want to visit. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Watch your dad.
So you know what? I miss you, Christian. I have this like present for your birthday, and then you fly him over to wherever you're at, Australia or wherever, somewhere cool. You know, cost you $10,000 to get him there, and he brings you a shoebox of baseball cards.
Old stuff of his. Here.
I'm just cleaning
You
up.
left these at the house.
I'm cleaning up the house, and I thought you would like these.
It's more of a memento.
It breaks my heart to give these to you. Man, I can't. It's pretty
we're
awesome.
such nerds.
When there was a time when we used to play games out in the garage every Wednesday, and Christian would
Yeah.
come. And Christian was about as tall as, I don't know, this microphone
Yeah.
stand. If
Really
that.
little,
If
yeah.
that. And now look at him. Wow.
He's a
Good
he's
job.
a man.
Good job.
So sad.
Now he schools everybody else up on them.
Yeah.
Christian's little.
What are you playing?
Christian's
What are
a
you?
man.
What's your game to play now?
I play a lot of Counter-Strike and
Old
Rainbow
school.
Six.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
PC, yeah, it's big.
Is it coming back? Counter Strike never. You know what?
Never went away.
You know what? I was. Who was I talking to? Ernie Johnson. Sammy. Sammy John. I was talking to him the other day, and he's a big gamer too. Ernie set him up. Burn Dog set him up with this big gaming thing in his thing. So I asked him, I was like, "What are you playing? What do you want? What's your game to play?" GTA 5. Because it's still big. GTA Grand Theft Auto 5 is still a ginormous game.
Huh.
That's like the biggest game in the world, I think.
It's nuts, isn't it? I can't believe it keeps it keeps adding on and adding on. They have new mods, and they keep doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's the top selling at least. It's not the biggest.
Right. They're coming out with a new Grand Theft Auto, I hear, that's in development now. That's through the grapevine.
See, I'm way out of all that because I haven't even had a game station hooked up to my TV in over a decade.
Oh, really?
Really?
It's a long time ago.
See that new movie or that new game with Keanu Reeves?
Cyberpunk?
Yeah,
Is it going to be good?
Looks pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I haven't checked that out yet.
I haven't even turned mine on either.
I haven't been watching too much TV. Listen,
Seems
I
we're
am
getting old,
summertime.
dude. We're getting
Lately, I've
old.
been back into Skyrim.
Thing is about summertime is that we've been doing so much stuff that it's almost like we are so relaxed because we're so busy. So even like it's just like when I'm not doing something, I instantly turn to be brain dead. Like today, we went up to the lake, sit there for a little bit, and come home, and it's like, whew. It's like, man, I'm exhausted.
What
I'm mentally
What
exhausted.
it is we're finally growing up.
Yeah,
I think it is. It's
growing up
sad.
or getting old.
That's the getting
Well,
old
it's the
part.
same thing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's just like, man, and all this past week, we'd get off work and go straight to Shinson House to get that thing. We were going back and
Paint
forth trying to get
and paint
paint,
and
and then
work
we'll
and
power
work
wash and blah blah blah.
So you're getting a lot done out there.
Pretty much, we got to.
Slowly but surely, I'm telling you.
I saw you got the
It's killing
jungle
us.
cleared out.
What's that?
I saw you got the jungle cleared out.
Yeah. Next step is to throw that stuff away. Got to get rid of that stuff.
out in the driveway
and in
right
the
now.
basement. Got to get that basement squared away. Then we're going to work on the outside. Then we're going to paint. Then we're going to sell it. Make a lot of money. Then we're going to go to the Bahamas.
Shit.
I thought it was going to be No Quiero Taco Bell.
It's going to be the Taco Bell Resort. The
Taco Bell Hotel.
The
Bell Hotel.
Bellhop. Anyway, we're going to shut it
anyway.
down. Don't forget, tomorrow is when the audio gets released. You can check that out on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Pandora. I'm trying to remember all the Radio FM. Where else? I can't remember. About everything you can stream on.
Yeah, just about
everything.
everything.
It's all. They're all there. YouTube.
Yeah, you
Actually,
started
we're
hooking
on
that
YouTube
up
now.
a couple years ago. Just bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, it's been rolling along, man. But summertime
Yeah,
months,
man.
it's every other weekend. Don't forget that. And when you do check it out, we really do appreciate it. Drop us a line, RoganRadio@gmail.com. If you know anything about cricket, if you like cricket, if you're one of our listeners in Australia or India, listen, I would love to hear from you. Big in UK. We have a big following in the UK, too.
Yeah.
So that would kind of be neat for you to actually invite us to come over on your dime, and then we could go ahead and check it all out to make sure, because we're American. We might not like it, so we might not want to buy it. You understand? So we would kind of do that. Cricket's my new game, though. Absolutely love it. And I didn't know anything about cricket. I always thought it was about like baseball until I was down in the casino at that ship one night talking to a couple from India and that guy from the UK, and they started explaining a little bit to me. And I started watching. I was like, man, this is stinking addicting. This is addicting. This game.
Really?
Well, at least I
Yeah.
know what you'll be doing tomorrow at work.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild. Like you can score runs. Like if you want to score runs, there's not one batter on the field at a time. There's two. Okay, but one guy's batting. They'll give you a real quick rundown, and I don't know all the rules, so I might be a little rusty in some things. There's 2 innings. Okay, each team, all their batters go, then they're done. And when you're done, say you have different aspects of how you score. You can get 1 point, you can get 3 points, you can get 4 points, you can get 6 points if you knock the thing out of the park, right? But say if you hit, there's an infield and there's an outfield. And once again, it's like more or less an oval. And you have those little sticks on the back. I can't remember what they call them. But the bowler is the guy that's pitching the ball, okay? He's trying to knock the sticks down. It's one of the ways you can get out. Once you get out, you're out. Once you're out, you are out. So that's your chance to bat, and you're done. Or you can sit up there and go all day and get 100 points, 50 points, something like that. There's different rules depending on where you're playing at. But anyhow, so I'm watching this stuff, and say if I'm batting, like I said, there's 2 batters on the field at one time, and I hit a little grounder. All right. Well, both batters have to run between the 2, like those little 3 sticks that you see. They have to run back and forth, and when like I say, the batter hits the ball here, if he gets here and the other batter gets down here, that's 1 point, and they go back and forth. Then they have to do that before the guy who fields the ball throws it down, and I wish I could tell you the name of those sticks. But once he does that, then the play's over with. Maybe the next time, then he bats again. Then he keeps batting until he's out. It's pretty slick. Yeah.
And cricket match can go on forever.
There's like I said. Now that's a general overview.
Yeah.
If you have like what they call test cricket, people bat, and until you get out, you can bat for 3 days if you want.
Wow.
When's football
Some
start?
of them are like 5 days long. Some of the matches,
When's football
pretty
start?
legit.
I know.
But like I said, I'm just starting to understand the game a little bit now and love it. It's addicting.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of games is if you don't understand it, you're like, nah.
Yeah, it's easy to do
It's
that
like
too.
soccer and hockey. I can't get the rules on either one of them games.
I love hockey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Love hockey.
Yeah, I do too. I think they should come up with a game called Socky. And what it would be soccer.
It tastes pretty good.
Well, soccer and hockey, in general, the rules are the same way.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I can't get. That's why I can't get the rules for either one of them.
But you would have a soccer. You would have a soccer game on the size of an indoor, an indoor soccer team. Like an arena soccer, whatever they would call it. Put it on play soccer on ice. Yeah. But then with spikes on your feet, so you can grab a little bit, but you're allowed to fight. Instead of falling down acting like you're hurt, then you'd be allowed to
and then
fight.
somebody step on you with spikes.
Exactly. It could be MMA sort of stuff. We call it sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if someone side kicks you with spike shoes?
Well, listen, it would be great because I guarantee I'd be watching the next one. If I said, if I was at the water cooler at work and say, did you watch that sake game last night where that guy's face literally got ripped off his head from where the guy went to kick a ball? I'd be like, what are you talking about? I've never seen it. Check it out. It's on Fox.
Now, do you really think a game like that would go? You can't even hit the quarterback in football anymore.
That's exactly why they should come up with this thing. You know what? Next thing I know, I'm watching it. I'm hooked. I have T-shirts that says "sake" with a guy's, like a hook.
Intestines across the sides.
Hey, that reminds me back in the day when they had mutant league football.
Oh
you
yeah.
Remember that?
I don't even remember that.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember. That's Sega, I think.
Yeah, yep. Back on the Genesis.
I remember the Extreme Baseball. There was a baseball game that they had that come out, and it was something like that. You could just plow dudes. I mean, just punch them. It was over the top. When you would throw the ball, it would like light up, and lightning would shoot out of their hands and stuff. I can't remember what that was called. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, once again, D-Mac, he's up at Cedar Point. He's out this week.
He had an anniversary, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs.
10
D-Mac.
years.
Happy anniversary.
Todd, he is working on an outbuilding that seemed to be going on for about 6 months now.
Yeah,
At some point,
I
it's
think
gonna
that
get,
outbuilding can accommodate the whole family.
Yeah, I believe so. It's going to be a
He's
monster.
pooping.
On behalf of Chad Puccio, Puccio from Monongah, we have Bice Weaver. Once again, thanks for coming in, brother. We'll have to talk a little bit to whenever we can get time to do this stuff. Talking about old time radio, be looking for a podcast, something like that.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting.
I wouldn't say stupid work, but for Chick-fil-A, it was my pleasure.
Yeah, there you go. Back from the dead, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be a freshman in college this year. He's the Python handler, Rogan Radio resident zoologist and computer specialist. Man, I haven't seen you for a long time. Christian Wiz. Yeah. Happy birthday on the night, Christian Wiz. Man, I tell you what, good-looking young man. Actually, I have 2 girls if you'd if you need a date for something.
Are they here? I thought you were going somewhere else.
He said, are they here?
Erica will be home in about 30 minutes. She's at work.
Yeah.
She'll be home about 30 minutes if you want to hang around.
Listen, I told her no
He is
car.
home.
I told her no car dates at all. But if you want to ask her, listen, she says yes. Listen, I'll give
We'll
you
let
money.
her go with you.
You can go take her out, get some ice cream.
She is 17 now.
And she has a job. Mm-hmm. And she sort of knows how to drive, sort of. Just don't let her drive your car.
Yeah, don't let anybody drive.
The director down there, we have Darren D. Hardman, straight from Tokyo, Japan, where it's normally 94% humidity. Bruce Takahashi, straight from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jimmy Whiz in his pants. And over here, they just had when was it? Memorial Day. They had the Woodchoppers Festival. Koger was over. He's going for 7 straight. They were in Morgantown yesterday. He's a woodchopper, and they're going. He's a lumberjack, and he's going for a 7th straight title. Still has this thing that goes around the country. Actually, I think around the world. Really, those guys are pretty awesome. Yeah. But he's going for a 7th title, national title. He's down from Webster. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, until whenever we're back, which might be God knows when. Hey,
2
thanks
weeks
for
after next.
2 weeks from now. That's right. Thanks for listening. You have been listening to Rogan Radio.
Night, y'all.
Later.
See ya.